Hello student, here we study the subject Economics Specialization 3 International Economics 1 from TYBA semester 5. In that, our first chapter is Introduction to International Economics. In that, we study international economics. Here, the meaning of international economics is a branch of economics that deals with international relations, trade and forces that influence the domestic economy is called as international economics. It is gaining more and more important day by day because of globalization. International economics is mainly concerned with the study of economic relation between sovereign nation focusing on the international aspect of economic activities. International economy is a concern with the problems of consumption, production, exchange and distribution of the national product. International economics is also uses the same fundamental method of analysis as other branches of economics because the motives and behavior of individuals are the same in international trade as they are in domestic transactions. Here have some definition of international economy. In that, the one definition of international economy is the study of economic interaction between countries. It means it is a study of interaction, how they interact with each other within the country. It addresses many topical issues. Then our next point is scope of international economics. A branch of economy that deals with international relation, trade and forces that influences the domestic economy is called as international economy. It is gaining more and more importance. So in globalization it is very useful. So as per that, scope refer to the subject matter of international economy. It divided into some categories. Scope of international economy is as follows. In that, first, theories of trade. In that theories of trade, the theories related to trade try to find out the reason why do the nations trade. The classical economist Sir David Ricardo developed the theory of comparative cost. The Sweden economist Hedges developed the factor endowment theory. Modern economists have not developed a separate theory as they think that international trade is the extension of domestic trade. These theories help us in understanding the factors leading to international trade, such as differences in cost and availability of factors of production. Then our next point is international trade policy. In that international trade policy, all countries give lots of importance to foreign trade. So they have their own policies regarding trade. International economic studies different trade policies such as free trade policy, protected trade policy, etc. Our next point is next scope of international economics is foreign exchange market. In that, foreign exchange market deals or foreign market deals with the demand, supply and the price of foreign exchange, and it influence on on other macroeconomic variables. And then next point is balance of payment. Balance of payment gives an idea about external position of the countries. Government can adopt suitable measures if there is a disequilibrium in the balance of payments. And last point is last scope of international economy is international monetary system. In that, international monetary system represents an agreement on the determination of the global exchange rate system and payment mechanism. These are some scope of international economics. Then our next point is importance of international economics. In that, we study some different points. In the first point or first importance of international economy is interdependency of the nations. Here It means international economics studies how independent economics of the world interact with one another in the process of allocating scarce resources to satisfy human wants. Because of in any area there have some resources may be in scarce availability, so how they use to satisfy human wants. Then our next importance is study of gains. It means it shows how international exchange and improvement in economic policies it can result in gains. Then our next importance is way of resolution of disputes. It points it point out ways in which the conflicts group and nations can resolve their differences for mutual benefit. Because of resolution of the dispute is very important while they are connecting or dealing trading with each other. So how the international economies in international economy, how the different countries resolve their conflict uh, for mutual benefit. Both the countries should have to be get benefit from their transaction or trade. Then our next importance is identifies basis for conflict. In that it identifies the basis for conflict over international economic policy both within nation and among them. Then next important is shows effective instruments. It means international economics tries to show how and to what extent international trade can be an effective instrument to help developing countries to attain the proposed objectives. The next important of international economics is applied economics. Applied economics means international economy is one sense applied economics where many policy problems of empirical nature are uh, elucidated and examined. So this one is also an applied economics. And our next and last but not least important of international economy is international finance, which is very important. International finance is a subject matter of international economics which deals with the foreign exchange market and study the short run problem and balance of payment as well as disequilibrium and adjustments. So it is also concerned with the economic policies that may be necessary for achievement of international equilibrium when the automatic processes do not work properly. Then our next point to study is interregional trade or domestic trade. Here we study interregional trade and international trade. But firstly we should have to learn or we should have to aware about interregional trade. It is also called as a domestic trade. The meaning of interregional trade is a domestic or internal trade. Or on the other hand, international trade is a trade, or we can say that while we are comparing inter-regional trade or domestic trade with the international trade, here inter-regional trade means uh, trading between the countries and international trade means trading between number of countries. The meaning is interregional trade is a domestic or internal trade. It refers to the trade which is carried out in different places and regions of the same country. For example, Haryana or Punjab, both in both the countries some trading are there, trade transactions are there. It is called as a domestic trade or interregional trade. The trade within the political and geographical boundaries is internal trade or domestic trade. Only one currency is used in internal trade. For example, in India, if Haryana and Punjab are trading between them, that time only rupees is used. That currency is used. Some factors are perfectly mobile within the countries. For example, labor factor is also there. There is a complete adjustment to wage differences and factor price disparities within a country with quick and easy movement of labor and other factors. So easily they can move their labor, they can move their other factors which they required, because of there is no license or no restrictions are there between the domestic trade. Here some characteristic features of interregional trade. Here in that, first is internal trade is carried on within the boundaries of one country. Also, in this form of trade, goods are carried on from one place to another place through railway or roadway. Any way they can use, because of they are dealing with internal, geographically internal relation, internally in a within a country. So in this form of trade, payment is made or received in local currency. One currency is used there. Then next feature is in interregional trade, wide choice of goods is available, because of number of sellers are there, so they produce number of things, so availability of choices or alternatives are there. In this type of trade, payment can be made in cash, check or draft, because one currency is used. Say number of banks are national, or every in every state the same bank or bank's branch is available, so they can use make payment through checks also, draft also. In this form of trade, generally license need not be obtained, whereas it is a must in foreign trade. Like a foreign trade, there is a need to have a license of trading, but in domestic trade there is no need to having the license for trading. In this type of trade, local rules and regulations have to be followed. Some local rules only should have to be followed each and every trader while they are trading. Then our next point is importance of inter-regional trade. In that, the importance of internal trade is it facilitates the exchange of goods and services between the producer and the ultimate consumer within the country. It helps in improving the standard of living and quality of the life of the people. It helps the growth of the industry in the country by facilitating the availability of raw material and the input and distribution of the finished product. Also, one important is it provides opportunity for the people to get employment in trading organization as well as to be self-employed as traders. Then next also, it also helps in growth of agriculture. Agriculture products are sold in consumers across the country, and the seeds, fertilizers, tools and equipments which are used by the farmer are made available to them only through the services of the trader. And last point is, last importance is, it promote foreign trade. It is not always possible to sell and buy from other countries directly. It is generally done through the agencies involved in internal trade. Then our next point